if you want to start your health and fitness journey, but you don't know where to start, or you feel so overwhelmed with all the information out there, that you clicked on the perfect video. Because today, I'm going to show you how you can start your health and fitness journey, and not just how to start, but also be able to reach your results long term. Because if you are like me, I don't just want to see results for the short term. I don't want to lose weight and then regain it back. I want to have results for the rest of my life. Keep up the results and keep getting better and better. So if you are like me and that sounds good, then keep watching. The most important thing to start your health and fitness journey is to understand what is your why and what is your main goal. So you want to be so clear on why you're even doing this. Why do you even want to start your health and fitness journey? So we want to grab a journal, a piece of paper, or you can do it on your computer. But the first thing to start your health and fitness journey is to write down your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you here? In this why, we want to get deep because we want to use the reason why we're doing this on the most challenging days. Because there's going to be days in your health and fitness journey where you want to give up, where it is so hard, there's so many obstacles, that the first thing that you want to do is just quit. Reminding yourself of your why is going to lit that fire back again to get started and get back on track. So once you know your why, then we want to write down what is your goal. What do you want to achieve? So for example, you want to be the best mother for your kids. You want to be the best version for yourself. You want to be able to walk your kids and run up with your kids and not feel out of breath. Maybe your goal is you want to be able to hike a 3-mile hike or run a 3-mile run a 5K. You want to achieve a specific a weight loss number. Or it could be that you want to lose body fat, that you want to build muscle, that you want to be the most consistent you've ever been by doing 5 workouts a week, 3 workouts a week. So we want to make sure that this goal is very specific, but it's also relatable to your why. So this is going to help you gain so much clarity on your journey so that if there's any challenge in your way, you can remind yourself of why you're doing this. So that is the first step, is to write down your why. And I like to write it in my journal. I like to write it in notes. You can even write this on sticky notes. And you want to see this every single day. Also your goal. How can you see your goal every single day? And how can you remind yourself of this goal so that you don't forget? Because trust me, when life gets busy and hectic and chaotic, and you're just going with the flow, you're just like in autopilot mode, you're going to forget why you're even doing this. You're gonna ask yourself, this is so hard, why am I even doing this? So that's the first and most important step when you're starting your health and fitness journey. Now, before we dive into what workouts I should do, how about nutrition, we are gonna be talking about your mindset. And this is the second most important part of your health and fitness journey. Because it all starts here with your mindset and having the right type of mindset for you to actually commit to your why, to your goal, and to the habits that you're going to be focusing so that you can achieve the results long term. You need to have a strong mindset. And one thing that I would highly recommend is to start small and realistic. I know that when you're starting your health and fitness journey, you're seeing all these people working out 5 to 6 times per week. They're doing long hour workouts. You don't have to start that way. And I can guarantee that they didn't start that way either. So starting small and realistic is going to set you up for success. Even though you might feel like, oh, well, what's the point? I'm not hitting the gym. I'm not doing a full hour workout. But something is always better than nothing. And I want for you to have this in the forefront of your mind, and especially on busy and chaotic days. Something is always better than nothing. And having this mindset is going to allow you to stay consistent, no matter if you just focused on a small habit or you just did a 10-minute workout or 5 minutes of yoga. What matters is to wake up and show up as the best as you can. So having that mindset is important for you, not to be so hard on yourself, not to have this all or nothing mentality where if you don't get in an hour workout or you don't eat healthy in all of your meals, then what's the point? Let's just start again next week, because all of this week is done, is ruined. We don't want to fall into that type of mentality. We want to switch to something is always better than nothing, and own that and be proud of yourself. Another thing that I hear so much when people are starting their health and fitness journey is, well, I don't feel motivated. I lost motivation. I don't want to show up for my workout because I don't have motivation. And the first thing that we want to understand is you will have many of those days. And I think most of your days when you're committing to your health and fitness journey, committing to your goals, you won't feel motivated. So first, knowing that, becoming super aware that that is going to happen, it's very, very important for you to be consistent and having a plan to what you're going to do. But I want you to understand what motivation is and how do we even get motivated. So let's take it back to when you're starting something new. Just like you are right now, you are starting your health and fitness journey and you are probably feeling motivated. And the reason why that is because when you're starting something new, you're taking action. You are taking right now imperfect action by clicking on this video and just starting your health and fitness journey. You're learning, you're preparing yourself, and that is taking action. That's the reason why you are feeling motivated right now. Or it can be when you're starting something new. It doesn't have to be your health and fitness journey. Just in general, in our life, when we take action, that leads to motivation. So that is the same thing in your health and fitness journey, and for example, with your workouts. If you are not feeling motivated, you're telling yourself, well, I'm not feeling motivated, I'm not gonna work out, I'm just gonna give up. Well, the reason why you're not motivated is because you're not taking action. So if you can start small and realistic, let's say you start with just 5 minutes of stretching. You start with that 5 minutes of meditation or yoga or stretching, just getting out for a walk. Doesn't have to be a full workout. Immediately, you're going to start feeling motivation come back, because motivation is fueled through action. This is why I always say you want to start with something small, something that is realistic, so that you can consistently do it every single day, so that you're always building and you are creating motivation by you showing up for yourself. Even if it's small, it still counts. Now, what if you didn't do something small? You just didn't show up for yourself that day. Another important aspect of your mindset is you want to be compassionate with yourself. You want to show love for yourself and understand your situation. I think it's very common for a lot of people that maybe it was a hard day. It was very busy, very stressful. And I've had many of those days where I just chose not to show up for myself. I chose not even to do 5 minutes of stretching or yoga or even walking. But one thing that you want to do and you want to avoid is you want to avoid being hard on yourself. You want to show compassion. And you want to ask yourself, how can I show up for myself tomorrow? Instead of just saying, well, I didn't show up for today, I already ruined the entire day, or well, I already ate the chips, I already ate this, the day is over, the whole week is over. That's being hard on yourself. So how can you show love and compassion for yourself and get back on track the next day? That is going to be key for you to stay consistent long term. Let's talk about movement. What should I do? Should I go to the gym? Should I do Pilates? Should I do Orange Theory? Like, what should I do to achieve my goals? And the most important thing that I'm gonna tell you, and that you've probably heard many, many times before, is that if you're doing movement that you absolutely hate, you wake up in the morning and you immediately say, oh, I don't wanna show up, I don't wanna go to the gym, I hate this exercise, I hate this, then you're not going to stay consistent. It is just not going to happen. You're going to end up giving up and quitting, because we cannot do things that we absolutely hate, especially not for the long term. You probably will commit to it a few weeks, a few months, but then you're going to notice that it's not going to be long term. So number one thing when it comes to movement is you want to be doing movement that you absolutely love, and ask yourself, If you weren't in a health and fitness journey, would you do this movement because you like it? You don't have to love it, but at least do you like it? Is it enjoyable? Can you do it consistently long term? This could be things like hiking. Maybe you love just doing yoga. Maybe you just love walking. For me, movement that I love, even if I wasn't in a health and fitness journey, is hiking. I can hike every single day if I could. I love hiking, I love being out in nature, and that's the type of movement that feels good for my body, makes me feel amazing, and that I love. I can consistently do that forever, long term. Now, if you have specific goals like recomposition, losing body fat, gaining muscle, just toning up, even if it's weight loss, you want to balance out what you love and what actually works for your specific goals. For example, if your goal is body recomposition, you want to lose body fat, you want to tone up, then we know that strength training is the number one type of movement that actually works. You're going to be building muscle, and that's going to lead to body recomposition and you losing body fat. Same thing when you are losing weight. If you want to lose weight but also keep your shape and not lose your muscle, then that means we want to retain muscle. So we want to be doing and prioritizing strength training. If you absolutely hate strength training, you're not going to be jumping in and going to the gym 5 times a week, because if you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to stay consistent. This could look like you start your health and fitness journey with movement that you love. And again, you're taking action, you're fueling motivation, so that when you are in a few months in your journey, you can start balancing out with things that's actually going to help you reach your specific goal. Let's say you want to tone up, then that means, okay, I'm going to commit 1 to 2 times of strength training, whether that is at the gym, whether that's at home, you have a personal trainer, but you're balancing out what works and what you love, and that's how you're going to be reaching your goals long term. So now that you figured out what type of movement you love and you can do consistently, now we want to ask yourself, okay, how many times should I do this? Should I do 5 times per week? Should I do 3 times per week? What days? What time of the day? And that is going to be up to you. We don't want to copy and compare ourselves to anyone else, because your life, your work, your schedule is so different than everyone else. So ask yourself, let's say you chose Pilates. You love Pilates, you can do Pilates. How many times a week can you actually commit to doing Pilates? How much time do you actually have in your day to commit to it? And remember, we can always evolve. And you want to start realistic, you want to start small. That doesn't mean you're gonna stay there. It's definitely going to be evolving to eventually you doing 30 minutes, an hour, you going to the gym. Doesn't have to be all or nothing. So once you know your schedule, then ask yourself, what is actually going to work for you? For example, for me, when I started my health and fitness journey, I said, I'm gonna go to the gym 5 to 6 times per week. I tried it out and it did not work. I felt burnt out. I asked myself and I said, can I keep this long term? I said no. So I immediately readjusted and I came up with 3 to 4 times per week. And that actually works with me. So what works for you, and make sure that it's realistic. And I highly recommend you experiment for a week. Just experiment, set a goal. Let's say it's 3 to 4 times per week. Show up and do it 3 to 4 times per week, and then ask yourself, can you do this long term, or do we have to readjust the frequency? Now, do you have to go to a gym to achieve your goals, or to even start your health and fitness journey? And my answer is no. You do not have to go to the gym. And just because you see everyone else going to the gym, that doesn't mean you need to start there. And I will say for myself, I didn't start going to the gym. I think it was 2 to 3 years after I started my health and fitness journey. I was only training at home. I was going for runs, I was going for walks, and I started to really master the basic movements. I only had a mat and myself, and I think like a 5-pound pair of dumbbells. I didn't have much equipment. I was able to really master the basic movements, get very strong. I was taking action because I just had to wake up, get my clothes, and then work out at home. I didn't have any excuses of, I have gym anxiety, I'm stressing out, I don't know what to do in the gym, I don't want to drive, I don't even have time to drive and show up to the gym. I just deleted all those excuses and I trained at home. So you can definitely start with at-home workouts and you are still going to see results. And for me, I was able to master the basics, get strong, and build the confidence so that when I decided, okay, I think it's time for me to go to the gym because I have more specific goals. I wanted to tone up, I wanted to gain muscle, get stronger, but I was already confident, I was already stronger, and I already knew what to do. I already knew the basics. However, if you feel confident right now that you can go to the gym, then do it. Go for it. But again, this is when you want to ask yourself, what feels right for you? When it comes to nutrition, nutrition is going to be a huge factor to you achieving your goals, whether that is weight loss or gaining muscle or toning up, body recomposition, or just overall health, just feeling better. Nutrition does play a big role. And the number and most important thing when it comes to nutrition, it's not cutting out certain foods or restricting yourself, but it's being able to embrace balance, a balanced diet where you can still enjoy your favorite foods. Because again, just like with working out, if you are eating foods that you absolutely hate, doing exercises that you absolutely hate, you're not going to keep this long term. You're not going to be able to stick through the plan and stay consistent. And also, we don't want to be calling foods good versus bad. There is no such a thing. And I think that leads to a lot of restriction and a lot of fear on foods. Now, we want to be focusing on whole foods and eating less processed foods overall. That doesn't mean you're never going to eat processed foods ever again, but we want to make sure that the bulk of our nutrition comes from whole foods. And the easiest way to do this is by cooking at home. You can control what you're eating, you can control the ingredients, and it's gonna be a lot healthier for you in the long term. You can still enjoy eating out, and I enjoy eating out 1 to 2 times per week, but I was able to set that boundary for myself. So first, set a boundary, be realistic, and follow through the plan. If you don't like to cook or you don't know how to cook, then I would highly suggest to do a meal prep delivery service so that you can still have homemade meals that are going to be in alignment with your goals. But if you are cooking at home, I think something very important is to change it up and not eat the same foods every single week, every single month, because just like working out, if you don't love what you're doing, you're not gonna stay consistent. So if you don't love the meals that you're eating, how do you expect to do this long term? How do you expect to stay consistent? How do you expect not to binge or not to even crave restaurant meals? So one thing that you can do is change it up and try different things. So different recipes, different sauces. That way you keep things interesting and yummy and delicious so that you can stick through the plan. Now, what if you are busy? What if you have a very busy work schedule? You can't cook every single day. This is where you can utilize things like meal prepping and planning ahead of time and using a grocery list. So what the things that I like to do is I like to first write down all the recipes that I want to try. And I usually like to keep it 1 recipe per week and then a few staple meals that I always create and that I can kind of change out the proteins, change out my carbs, my veggies, but it's the same type of meal. And these are your staple meals. These are meals that you create for your lunches, for your breakfasts, for your dinners, your snacks. These are meals that you can eat every single day without even getting bored. These are meals that are so good, they're so simple to make that you can even make them on a very busy day. So once you create your staple meals, you want to plan out what is your week going to look like. What are those staple meals that you're going to want that week? Is there a new recipe that you want to try out? Write those out, and then you want to list out the ingredients that you're going to need. So I like to sit down on a Sunday and I write down my staple meals that I'm making, the recipes that I'm making. I write down all of my ingredients and I would head to the grocery store and I know exactly what I need so that I can just take action and start meal prepping. I like to meal prep on Sunday, and you don't have to meal prep where you're making this whole fancy meal for every single day is the same meal. I don't think that personally works. That's just my opinion. I don't think that works. I like to batch cook. If that week I'm having chicken and let's say ground turkey, I'll make sure to cook those ahead of time, as well as my carbohydrates, which take most of the time, like rice, or maybe I'll want pasta, potatoes, whatever it is. I just prep those in advance so that throughout the week I can build my bowls, like Chipotle bowls, or make wraps, make tacos, different types of foods, and I don't have to be waiting for my proteins to be cooked and my rice. Also, meal prepping could be as simple as chopping up your veggies, washing your vegetables, or chopping your fruit and having that ready for your week. Doesn't have to be a whole menu of foods, but sticking with what's realistic, what's simple, and what you can actually commit to your week is going to be important. So don't compare yourself to other people who are doing Sunday meal prep and they're doing all these fancy meals. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it. Now, should you track your calories? Should you track your macros? Which diet should you be on? The number one thing you want to ask yourself is, how is your relationship with food? Do you obsess over numbers? Do you restrict and binge? Do you have an eating disorder? Those are questions that you want to ask yourself, and be very open and vulnerable with yourself. Because if you don't have a healthy relationship with food, you obsess over the numbers, or you deal with so much stress in your life, I personally wouldn't recommend you going into tracking your calories and tracking your macros at the beginning of your health and fitness journey. That doesn't mean you're never going to do it, but I would recommend to first heal your relationship with food before you start obsessing over numbers. If you don't have an unhealthy relationship with food, you don't obsess over numbers, and you feel pretty confident that you can take on tracking calories and tracking macros, then let me know down in the comments if you would like for me to make a separate video about tracking macros and tracking calories, tracking protein. So let me know if that's gonna be beneficial for you. But you can look up other YouTube videos and how to track macros and calories, and that could be a route that you choose to do. If you don't have a healthy relationship with food, there's other ways for you to achieve your goals. If your goal is to lose weight, then you want to be in a caloric deficit. And we can do that by listening to your hunger and fullness cues. So before you even eat a meal, you want to tune in with your body and ask yourself, am I hungry? Is this because I'm stressed out? Is this because of an external factor, like it be emotional eating, could be boredom? You want to first ask yourself, why do you want to eat this specific food or snack? Or let's say you're craving sweets. Ask yourself, are you really hungry, or is this because of an external factor? Then when you're eating your foods or snacks or meals, you want to check in with yourself. Ask yourself, do I feel full yet? Or am I still hungry? Then after you eat, you want to check in back again with yourself. Am I feeling stuffed? Am I still hungry? And you want to be able to honor those cues. It is not easy at first, but same as calorie in tracking macros, it isn't easy, and it takes a lot of patience and a lot of learning. So as hunger and fullness cues and being able to tune in with your body. I think this is a much better route to go if you want to heal your relationship with food. Now, one thing that you want to keep in mind when you are starting your health and fitness journey is that the people around you are probably not going to be in a health and fitness journey. So one thing that is very, very important is just to communicate your health and fitness goals with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, and then set boundaries too. And this doesn't mean that you're never going to be going out to restaurants with your loved ones, with your friends, or to get-togethers or parties, but being able to communicate with your loved ones and your friends that, hey, I'm gonna be eating this because of that, or I'm gonna be bringing a healthy dish because I'm in a health and fitness journey. You can share your goals with them, and if they love you, they're going to support you. But I think it's important just to communicate that with others and share that with others so that you don't feel like they don't support you. Many times it's just that they don't know what you're doing. They don't know your intentions. They don't know that you are in a health and fitness journey. And if they are not in one themselves, they're not going to understand why you're making those choices. They're going to feel like you don't want to eat their food because you don't want to eat it, or it tastes bad, or whatever it is. I come from a Mexican family, and every time I would bring my own food, they would ask me, you don't like my food, why don't you want to eat it? But then I started to communicate what I was doing. I was at a health and fitness journey. I had this goal in mind, and it's so important to me, and I'm gonna be bringing healthy dishes. And also I started bringing healthy dishes for everyone. So a bigger dish so I could share with other people so that I can hopefully inspire other people to live healthier lives themselves. So communicate your goals and why you're doing this, your habits to your loved ones and friends, and also be able to set those boundaries when needed. The last thing that I'm gonna share with you is to reflect and celebrate your wins. This is going to be huge for you to stay consistent and keep yourself motivated and hungry to keep doing what you're doing, because your health and fitness journey is not going to be easy. It is going to be hard. Change is hard, but being able to celebrate wins, and if you can do that every single day, that is going to be a win on itself, and you're going to notice that you're going to be more consistent. You're going to be just fired up to keep doing what you're doing. This doesn't have to be even related to the scale or related to how you look. These can be wins like the fact that you woke up and you did not hit the snooze, that you drank your water, or that you spent 5 minutes to stretch. I think a lot of people tend to focus on the things that they didn't do, like maybe you skipped the gym, you weren't feeling it, you didn't go to the gym. Instead of beating yourself up because you didn't make it to the gym, celebrate of all the little wins that you did accomplish. And ask yourself, what do I feel proud of myself for today? Even if it's small, I'm gonna still celebrate that, because that's what's gonna keep you going. And also being able to reflect on your week, reflect on your day. Did you do the things that you say you were going to do? Did you do the things that you promised yourself you're going to do? If you said you were gonna hit the gym 3 times per week, did you actually hit the gym 3 times per week? Did you say you were gonna eat only 2 times per week? Did you actually follow through? So being honest with yourself is going to be important. However, we don't want to be hard on ourselves. We want to be able to just say, okay, how can I plan ahead better for the next day or for the next week? Maybe what you're doing is unrealistic. Maybe you can't go to the gym 3 times per week. Maybe it's 2 times per week. Or maybe the gym doesn't work at all, so it's better for you to work out at home. So being able to reflect and then plan ahead for the following day, for the following week, the following month, and always keep yourself looking forward to the future, what you're going to be doing, how you plan to showing up for the rest of the month, the rest of the year. It is going to be huge for you to keep this fire lit through your entire health and fitness journey. And we're gonna take it back all the way to the beginning, to your why. During days that feel so hard and so challenging, days that you want to give up, you want to remind yourself, why are you even doing this? What is your why? Go on your journal, go in the first page to where you're starting your health and fitness journey with the date, and then read why you started your health and fitness journey. And keep reminding yourself, there is a bigger mission, a bigger reason why you are still here and why you shouldn't give up. I hope that this video served you. I hope that you learned something. And if you did, let me know in the comments below what you found the most helpful. And also, what is your why? Why are you doing this and what is your goal? I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. Bye everyone.